the first for everybody out here, you know?
This is Talking Again podcast. Welcome to the tap. I am your host, Fidel Avendaño.
And this is Bipolar Purple, man. A pleasure to be here. A real pleasure, man.
Boom.
Really. Yeah.
So, you know what? I was going to ask you the name Bipolar Purple.
Yeah.
Is that because that's what you were diagnosed with? Or you just like the name?
No. It would never be because I just like the name. It would be an insult for someone to just wake up and be like, "Oh, I want to call myself bipolar."
Yeah.
Like that would be a real insult.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you want to ask if I myself is diagnosed with bipolarism, I am going to tell you no. But the thing is I am diagnosed with depression, right? Multitudes of other things. But when it came down to my family heading to the doctor and things like that, we didn't mention the fact that there is bipolar disorder running in the family. So when I went with my mom and things were going different ways, I've never been the one to take medication. Yeah. My mom has drawers filled with medication. I've always kept inside myself, as in the mind controls everything, you know. So I have a lot of anxiety. I have a lot of things going on, but my mind, I feel like there's a lot of power that I control. Mm-hmm. So I control those type of things, and I don't want that medication to change me. Yeah. I feel like I'm very powerful within my mind, and I can be like, okay, yes, I can acknowledge things, and I don't want to become a zombie. You know, I don't want to be taking Xanax and ADD medication, and I don't want to be taking all these things because I'm scared of what it'll do to me as a person. Yeah. I don't want to be walking around here trying to fit in people's boxes. I don't want to do that. Yeah. You know? So I know what I have, and I control it, and I'm good, and I'm fine. Yeah. And some days are better than others, and this and that. So if people want to ask, because I've had this question before. Yeah. I've had fans DM me, and they say, you're going under this pseudonym, and there's people with real issues like this, and there's people with real problems. Yeah. And I completely understand that. And hopefully when I get bigger and and I want to do types of events to help with mental health issues, mm-hmm. but I don't want to come on and say, yes, here's the paperwork, I am diagnosed with this.
And you shouldn't have to do that either. Now I asked because, yeah, I mean, the name, bipolar, I've never seen anybody use it. Well, in your case, like a stage name, but well, first of all, was it rude for me to ask that?
Oh, no, completely. Okay. It's going to come up no matter what. Yeah. It's always going to come up.
Yeah, okay. You know? No. Now, you said that you don't want to feel like a zombie. You don't want to take the pills. You don't, have you ever, were you ever taking them at one point? And you know the feeling of it?
The thing is, remember, have you seen the movie It?
The clown.
The remake recently. Yeah. Okay. So remember that kid that was taking Georgie? He was taking placebos. He was like, okay, I took this medication and it wasn't shit, basically.
Wait, Georgie was the little brother, right? So then the older brother.
The one that was dealing with the one where he went to the what is it called, like what you would call like a CVS or a Walgreens, the drugstore. Yeah. And the other character, the girl character, was like, you're just taking bullshit, right? Yeah. So I was taking that. It was basically, it's just like something like a very low dosage of something, mm-hmm. And it was like 0 to like no effect that it had on me. It was quote unquote like happy pills, mm-hmm. that I would take, and it made me feel like a little high. Like it was nothing that would help me at all. It was more of like, okay, we think your child has this, so like let's just prescribe him like the lowest dose of like the lowest something,
Yeah.
and like let's see what happens. Like maybe it'll cause some type of thing to where he feels better or whatever. But I would take it a couple times, and like I was just like, I don't need that. I was I was very negative against pills because I didn't want them to change me.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
I really didn't. Yeah,
The
I would love to be just a normal person, you know, but like, what does one define as normal?
right.
You know, because these other kids that I'm around, they don't have to take those type of medications, or they don't have to. It was more of a fear of the pill itself. I didn't want to pop this pill, and the mind altering. I was just like, I was more of like, this is something that I can handle.
Yeah.
This is something mentally that I am not going to fall under, because I have an uncle, and he's schizophrenic, and he's bipolar, and he's like, name it, you have it, and he's out there. You talk to him and he's out there. When the family in Texas, we visit him, he's out there, you know.
Right.
And I just knew that it was always a mind. It was mind over matter, you know. Like, if I cannot let whatever is going on take a hold of my daily routine. Like, this is something that I have to just, like, I acknowledge it. It's not, and I just never wanted to take medication.
But that's for you though, right? Because you don't think that for everybody, right? Because then those people that have the schizophrenia,
that are way out there. Oh, for sure.
there's something that's chemically imbalanced, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to clarify that, because I thought you were saying
like nobody should
generally,
take
yeah,
drugs.
generally.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
For me, it was something that I had, and drugs did take a part of it, because I was addicted to ecstasy for like a month straight. I had a girlfriend back in high school that her brother sold ecstasy. So, and I dated her for like 2 years, and I would tell her like, hey, I need some pills, and she'll give me like 4 or 5 pills for nothing, like, just here you are, you know.
Right.
I didn't pay. I mean, I'm in high school, barely like freshman or the next year over. I don't have money, you know, and I'm here dating this girl that I can ask her for like 5 pills, and I have it here in my hand, you know. So I was addicted to ecstasy for a while. That got me over the fear of pills, in that sense. But then what happened was, I had like a real bad experience. Like, the last time I took ecstasy was like a real bad experience. And from then on, it triggered something, because there's always you know how people talk like how marijuana can trigger schizophrenia, or like different drugs can trigger things that you already have traits of, but it turns on that switch, you know. So unfortunately for me, is I went through that psychosis after that whole month of drug use. I was able to turn that off.
Yeah.
And even my mom told me, like, you know what, you know the difference. The thing is, if anybody's going through this, is that you have to draw the line, and you have to say, okay, this is reality. This is the base level of reality that we're in. These crazy thoughts that I'm thinking of, this person's against me. How long has this been there? Why did I get this? Or you thinking too much. You have to be able to decide what is reality and what's not, because what happens is, when that line is blurred, then you lose touch of what's really going on.
Yeah.
And me having that uncle who's gone through those, who is completely lost, I always thought of that like, okay, that's not something that I want to be, you know.
And is he off his meds? Is he not taking meds?
He takes it regularly, yes. But honestly, my grandma takes care of him. So if he decides that he doesn't want to take his meds, then he just won't take his meds. And that's usually when he's just like off his rocker.
Right.
You know? So like me having that family, me having that family history is something that I didn't disclose with the doctor, because even if I told the doctor that that's what's going on, I wouldn't take the medication either way.
Yeah.
So it was just something that's like we brushed off to the side, you know, and I'm good, you know, I'm fine. I'm completely comfortable with myself, and I know, I haven't. I of course I do drugs, you know, but it as far as ecstasy, I've been clean for years and years and years. Hardcore drugs, I've never touched hardcore drugs. The most hardcore would be ecstasy. And mentally I'm good. Mentally I'm fine, you know.
So hardcore would be like your meth, your
Meth,
coke, and heroin.
Coke I do on occasion, but it's more of recreational.
That's the one. That's the party one.
Yeah,
that's the party drug.
Yeah, you know. Yeah. And it's never.
How's that a controllable drug? I mean, I'm someone that I don't. I'll get high every once in a while. I mean, I never get high, but like when I do, right, I can kind of control it. There's been times when like some of these edible ones that I just can't control.
Really put you on a different planet.
Yeah, and I just can't. And I can't do it. You know, just not being able to know what's going. Like I just can't do it.
Yeah, and the thing with me is I can't smoke weed sober.
Oh really? So you have to get a little buzz,
I have to drink
a little liquid courage.
Yeah, good. The thing is I used to I moved out to Arizona, and they grew. This was before even weed was legal in a lot of parts.
Yeah,
I was like I want to say like the end of middle school, freshman year. Okay. I was in Arizona. I want to say it was Florence, Arizona, which is real rural. I mean, like a Walmart was like an hour and a half away.
Wow.
So you go into these. Have you ever seen places where it's like all these houses look the same? I don't know if you would, because I can't speak on California, but like there's places in Arizona or like Texas where like you go into this place and all these houses are the same. And so there's that. There's like a long dirt road. There's like this little area where it's just nothing but houses that look the same, and then you go past that and like a Walmart's like completely, you know.
Yeah,
like just civilization is just like out there, and it's just that you and that community, you know. And they grew wheat there, and a lot of my experiences with marijuana was there, and I loved it. At first.
That was your first experience out there with marijuana?
And it was for me moving from Texas over to Arizona, and the move was hard for me. You know, it was my sister's dad that moved us out there. And it was hard for me, but then also that was my first experience with like marijuana and things like of that nature. And it was great. I saw the people who grew it in their backyard. I was really cool with them. We smoked it. It was fine. But there is one day where I just got really self-conscious over it, you know, because I'm a skinny dude, you know. So I would smoke my weed, and I would look at my arms, and I'll be like, yo, I'm just like way too skinny. And it just snowballed.
Started doing push-ups and shit.
Not even that. It's just it was like self-hatred. Like I was just like, yo.
Started getting that depression. That's when it started kicking in.
And it was the depression. It was the paranoia. It was like, oh, if I'm too skinny, then other people might. Other people will know that I'm skinny. Yeah. Or other people might know that I'm high. Or other people might know that I'm acting a certain type of weird way. Like it's you put everything into perspective that you're not supposed to put into perspective, you know, like, oh, I'm high and I'm just having fun, you know. Right. It turned into something to where like every little step, every little move I made was counted for, and it wasn't supposed to be like that. So that's carried on, you know. I can't for me to, I can't sit in a room and take hits of a bong, or I can't smoke joints, or I can't smoke blunts. And there used to be a time where I can just be hella baked and just be like, okay, cool, what's up,
Yeah.
Now it's like, oh my god, like, do I smell? Oh my god, like, do people think of me as weird because I'm dressed like this, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's that type of thing. So what I do now is, if I'm sober, I'll take a couple hits, but then like I drink along with it. You know?
Got to get that buzz.
Oh yeah. It balance it takes the edge off, and I love smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to have the drinks so I can be leveled out for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Especially in the studio. I have to have the weed. Yeah.
So we were talking earlier about the weed in Texas and weed in California. Mm-hmm. Now, I mean,
now
back then. Well, you said Texas. It's not legal in Texas right now, right?
Oh no, by far.
Yeah.
I know people that are felons because of weed.
Yeah, in Texas.
They get caught with a wax pen, and they're felons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah.
Texas probably the last state to legalize it. Maybe.
Yeah, I want to say it is, but when I want to petition for that, or like hopefully
from California.
What do you mean? Like yeah, you go Texas.
But you still do root for the Dallas Cowboys, all right?
Yeah. Oh, I'll say. Oh yeah. Man.
We're a melting pot here in California, so you could.
Yeah, I see. You know what the crazy thing is? I see a lot of more Dallas Cowboy jerseys than Rams jerseys. For sure.
Yeah, well, depends on what part of LA.
Downtown LA.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. I've only seen.
Well, see, the Dallas Cowboys is America's team, right?
Supposedly,
they'll always be America's team. It's the nickname now.
You know what? We don't always live up to that, but if you guys want to keep calling us that, then we're not gonna say no. Yeah. But I've been here maybe like 5 months. I've only seen someone wearing a Rams jersey like maybe like twice. But,
really?
Mm-hmm, but yeah. I've always I see Dallas Cowboy jerseys a lot.
Yeah. To me, it just seems like a couple years ago, Rams fans just started coming out of the woodwork. I mean, there's still, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of diehard Rams fans that I know that they've been Rams fans forever, and they've always been Rams fans even when they sucked. But it's especially like the last 2 years, they're all coming out. Really? Rams fans, yeah. Rams jackets, Rams license plate frames, Rams stickers and decals on their cars. Damn. That's all you see now. Mm-hmm. What about the Chargers? They're an LA team too.
Not as recent, no? Didn't they move? Didn't they jump ship?
No, they're here. They were San Diego.
And they're here.
So they're here.
So now that they jump shipped over here, have you run into Charger fans? Like, oh yeah, they're
not like Rams fans. I've seen some Chargers fans, but again, those are some of the Chargers fans that had the decals and they were still like wearing the sweaters fans before. From San Diego's not that far away. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about St. Louis, the Rams.
It's the same state. It's the same state.
Right. Yeah. I mean, 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm gonna go for an LA team, I'm gonna go for the Chargers. 'Cause I'm a 49er fan. I can't go for someone that's in the same division as mine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It'd just be weird.
Yeah. Definitely.
Especially since we play them 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So I gotta go for the Chargers. The Bolt. Mm-hmm. Gotta do it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I think they're gonna have a better season this year than the Rams are.
Really?
Yeah. That's a bold statement right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It really is. And I've always thought about that too. Like, because I have a lot of friends that are Houston fans.
Yeah.
And like.
The Texans.
We'll talk trash to each other, but I'm like, yo, you guys are like my second option. Like, if we're out of here, like I'm rooting for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys, better get your act together. Because I mean, overall, it's Texas that I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
So.
Do you miss Texas?
I
mean, that's where your childhood is at, right?
Yeah.
Your childhood, your memory. You were born there.
Yes.
And you took off when you were in junior high, you said?
I've my relationship my relationship with I've moved in and out of town for a while. I'm born and raised in Texas, El Paso, Texas. I've lived in Arizona because of my sister's dad. Came Tucson, Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. Came back because he was very abusive, and I didn't rock with that. Like, we always clashed, and one time when we visited back in Texas, I told my mom that I wasn't going back. Like, I'm not going back.
Yeah.
And she called me crying, like, on the way back to Arizona. Like, I didn't really think you were gonna do this. I was like, no, I'm not going back to Arizona.
Yeah.
No, you know.
She's still out there?
No. She's in Texas now.
Okay.
My mom and my sister's dad are not together no more.
Okay.
So she has someone that's someone who I wouldn't mind calling my stepdad. He's great. He's a great person. Okay. They have a family together. It's great. You know, they love each other. It's a good relationship. You know, yeah. Nothing abusive like my sister's dad. You know, so I've lived in Arizona. Didn't go well. Came back to Texas. Then I lived in Minnesota with my ex, which was I met her in El Paso, Texas. She was from Minnesota. We were dating. And she was like, you know what, I'm moving back to Minnesota, my hometown.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool, I'll go with you, you know. So we went back over there. That synced, of course, because we're young. Right. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea that, because the thing is, you're from El Paso. I mean, you're from Minnesota. I go back to your hometown. I'm in your ballpark now. Yeah. You have previous relationships. You have previous friends. You have things.
It's a whole nother life.
It's a whole nother life, you know. And that's where I gained appreciation for it, because there's her sister from my ex. They're very welcome. Even when our relationship went sour, they still loved me. Yeah. They said, you know what, you're a good guy. And their friends and their family were all with me, which pissed her off. You know, I woke up, like, me being from the city, even though it's a small city in El Paso, I would hunt ducks, or I would, like, wake up like at 4 a.m. and ride an ATV out there to the woods, and it's beautiful. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I have appreciation for the woods as well as city life and stuff like that. So, like, that went sour. I saved up. I used to work, like, at a Dairy Queen in Minnesota. That saved up, and then I went back to Texas, and then I went to LA, back to Texas, and then back here in LA, and now I'm here for good in LA.
So for good, you're not just passing by?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not, because I'm in a grateful position right now to where I can be self-sustainable. So if I choose, basically it's up to me. If I wanted to go back to Texas, sure. But I didn't come here to LA for no reason. I didn't come here yokis, you know. Yeah. So I'm here. I'm here grinding it out.
When did the music career begin? I mean, I didn't even introduce you as an artist, a musician, but it is what it is. When did it start? When did it begin? Was it in Texas? Was it in Arizona? Here in LA?
Texas. Because I wasn't an artist in Arizona. I was a graffiti artist. I don't do, like, I don't want to say do, like, as of recently I do graffiti, but I still keep that in my bloodline as an artistly fact. Like, it's an art form, you know.
Now, is it the illegal graffiti or is it the legal one? Because you know how they have legal graffiti now. Illegal. Okay.
Yeah, like I've done some time for it.
Okay, so you're the one that fucked up my walls and all that shit like that. Just kidding.
You know what? Yeah.
So and you know what? Time for that, you said.
And you know what? It's crazy because in LA, in downtown LA, where I live at now, it's across the street from my family's workplace. Okay. My family's warehouse, my family's place of business, and so I sleep across the street, you know?
Yeah.
And I wake up and like I go to work and all that. And I notice things that are not there. Me as someone, because I've asked people like, hey, did you notice this person that just caught a tag? Or did you notice this or that? And they're like, no, like I just drive through LA and I don't pay it no mind, you know?
Yeah.
But someone who watches those types of things, I see like, okay, I seen that person over here and now he's over here. And okay, so this guy actually puts in work.
Yeah.
This guy is actually doing his thing, you know? And me seeing it as my family's place of business, like I see people that tag on there because they get tagged recently. Like recently they've been getting tagged up.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could just like, you know, get up too. But I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna tag on my family's business.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, so you got that urge to go over there and start working. I have that
urge and start working, but and like it's a great canvas, sure. Yeah. But I was like, I can't just tag on my family's business, you know? So that's why I have that conflict, but I don't do that anymore. But that's where the artistry came from, you know? Like this is what I wanted to do. Like I really wanted, like I would, we used to, I don't want to confess to crimes here.
Well, maybe it passed statute of limitation, but if it hasn't,
it
maybe
probably
not.
has. It probably has. I don't want to confess it, but we used to. I mean, yeah, it probably has. So
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But don't hold me liable for it.
In either ways, it's probably not something. It's not like I murdered somebody, so it's whatever.
There you go.
But we used to go to Walmart. And we used to go in with empty shopping carts late at night at Walmart. We used to go to the spray paint aisle.
Yeah.
And we used to just put our arm out and just fill the whole cart. Just the whole cart would just be filled with spray paint.
Yeah.
And then you just turn that cart around and you just run out. There'll be someone with a truck and you just dump that whole cart. Like not even. You wouldn't do hand by hand spray cans in the cart.
Yeah.
In the trunk.
Just dump the whole cart in there.
The whole cart, you just go in there. So we leave with like a good amount of spray paint. And there was one time where my mom was out because my mom is dating my now stepdad. Mm-hmm. So she's in love and we have our own apartment, but she's trying to find love and she's over there, you know, during the weekends and she's doing her thing. So I'm left a lot of time with myself. So we had this big round table. And so we're like, yeah, we just caught this big thing. And like, so we have we're counting our spray cans and we're just, you know, the whole table's filled with spray cans.
Yeah.
And my mom comes in, my mom knocks and she just sees like this whole like thing of spray cans and she trips out and she knows what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, because she's dropped me off and down.
Because you wrote your name after it.
Yeah, and right, and even with my stepdad now, he knew that I did graffiti, and my mom would complain like, "Hey, we saw your name over here," and he saw, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she used to drop me off. Like I used to pack up bags of spray paint, tie them up, and put them in my mom's trunk, and she used to just like drop me off in downtown El Paso, and we just do our thing. And she would say like, you better not be doing this or that, and I'm like, no, Mom, like it's a paid mural, like we're just gonna go do. But I mean, she knew,
right?
And it was just something that it
was hard to accept.
Yeah, it was hard to accept, and we just did things that way.
Why don't you try doing it over here, but like legal, paid paid murals?
Because that's not part of
that's not you anymore.
It's me. It's me as illegal wise. It's me as in I want to catch things illegally, but it's not me as something that I want to continue forward with.
Yeah. Because
I have it tattooed. Like this was a part of my life. You know, I have a spray can tattooed on me. It's a part of my life. But I always thought that we would call it getting up, as in getting your name out there. Mm-hmm. But my mentality is like, I'm getting my name out there in a different way. I might not be putting in work as in spray painting the city, but at the same time, I'm getting up, as in I'm getting my name out there, different medias, different ways, different,
Yeah.
you know. So that's how I always thought it. As long as I'm getting up in my way, then that's fine. You know?
And were you bipolar then?
No.
Bipolar Purple? A different name.
Yeah, it was a different name. I was Skinny J.
Oh, I did see that on your videos.
Yeah.
Skinny J. Okay.
And that's still my Gmail.
Yeah.
Just because I'm too lazy to change it. You know? It works. If my personal email works, send me all my work through that email. Yeah. Just because I'm a different name doesn't mean I have to change my Gmail. You know.
Right.
Just send me the work I do and my whatever. You know.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was that for a while, but I was with my ex, which is my baby mama. I was with her, and it was coming to the point where, because what people don't get is here in LA, things are a lot harder to acquire. Houses,
of course,
cars. You know, I Uber everywhere now, and I've talked to my mom, and you know, maybe it's best for me to do that because I have certain vices to where it might not be as great for me to drive right now. I have a license and I'm all good, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like in LA right now I don't need to drive. I'm fine. I have people that can drive me to my appointments. I have Uber. I have things, you know, to those resources. I don't want to be stuck in traffic anyways, you know. But like what were we talking about?
We're talking about your music, the name Skinny J.
Yeah.
Yeah. From Texas to California.
Yeah. So what happened was, when I was with my baby mama, she had told me, she's like, you know what? I had bought her a house. I had bought her a car. I had myself a car. And
in Texas.
In Texas, yes. And music has always been a part of me. I've always loved to do music, you know? And it came to a point where that became secondary. Something that I wanted to do within my whole life, and I said this is what I wanted to do, became secondary. I had a family. I had a job. I was working my ass off because I didn't fucking graduate. You know? I'm working my ass off 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you know, hooked off of Monsters. But when I came home at 7 a.m., I had my daughter and I had my girl, you know. That was heaven for me.
Yeah.
And I'm not religious at all, but that was my heaven. You know? Yeah. I come home and they're there asleep. I just go in there. It's great. It's a great feeling. You know? And there was a time where I shot my last music video and she was on the phone with her friend and like, yeah, this is his last music video. And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. This is my last music video, you know?
Yeah.
And we shot that and it was great, you know? And when that fell apart, there was a lot of things that I had inside me that came to fruition that I had suppressed. Because I wasn't this long hair, dyed my hair, black metal t-shirts. I, of course, always skinny jeans, but I wasn't this quote unquote goth or quote unquote. I wasn't bipolar purple. I was skinny J, as in like swag and snapbacks and all that, which is all fine, you know. But when that came to an end, to like I want to do this family thing, and then when that fell apart, just like the things that I have suppressed, because there's I listen to a certain type of music, but I wouldn't let other people know I listen to that. Or I did a couple things that like, oh yeah, maybe I wouldn't mind growing my hair out. Maybe I wouldn't mind painting my nails, or maybe I wouldn't mind doing things like this, you know?
Yeah.
And that all came up to surface when I was like, okay, so this fell through. Maybe it's just time to be myself, So now I'm just being myself,
Yeah.
So for
Well,
better or for worse.
well, how far away were you yourself from Skinny J? Was Skinny J just a part of your life? Like that was you?
Yeah, that was me.
Or was that something that you were trying to be as far as an artist? Like what MTV was telling you to be, what Instagram or Facebook or the MySpaces back in the day were telling you to be, was it Skinny J, or was that a part of you?
No, it was definitely a part of me.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of, this is who I am. Like, I'm Skinny J, cool, But I also had secret indulgences. Like, I had secret types of genres. Like I had things that I would play in the car with my ex, and she'll be like, "What are you listening to? Like,
Yeah.
this is weird. Like, this is crazy."
Mm-hmm.
And so it was always me. Like, I knew what people wanted to hear, and I gave that out. But at the same time, it was just always just this desire to be outside of the norm, because I played music that's outside of the norm, and I've always liked the fact that this is something different, because I was mainstream. I was very like, this is the music that everybody's doing. I'm doing this music and I love it. It's still to this day. Still to this day, I do music that people enjoy and what you would consider mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
But the difference is now is that I'm getting more in touch into who I am as a person. I'm being less and less afraid of stepping into the outer norm.
Yeah.
I'm being more confident in who I want to be. You know, I don't want to conform so much as I did before.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, you know, there's a great quote that my mom has sent me by Katy Perry, and it was something that I really wasn't expected for her to send me. Like, she'll send me, because she's in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
so she'll send me things that like remind her of me, and it was how Katy Perry like went through her struggles and things like that. And she said, I'm pretty sure like I'm butchering this quote, but she said that you need to be yourself, and as long as you be yourself, everything else will follow. The first thing and foremost, you just have to be yourself. You know, and I think that's what I'm coming into, like, realization.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. At first, it was like, oh, I'm here in LA. Let me just do the whole pop music scene, and let me just try to create the next hit. Now I'm just like, I just want to go to the studio, and whatever I feel like producing is whatever I feel like.
Yeah. So, some of your influencers, some of the music that you were into, growing up as a kid, when your mom was cleaning or whatever, and you guys are listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your go tos?
Yeah. So when I was a kid, of course we didn't have I really didn't have no like MP3. I had MP3 players, but that was like later on.
Hold on, man. This tells you the age difference, the age gap between you. Because you said when I was a kid we didn't have MP3 players. I didn't know what an MP3 player was when I was a kid.
Yeah.
It wasn't around.
Right?
So
Yeah, like
damn,
record
dude.
players.
Yeah.
Or like
Well, we had cassette tapes,
cassette tapes too. It says
I'm
I
sorry.
watch a lot of retro things.
Yeah.
Like, I love looking at yesterday's tech. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, what did people use back in the day? Record tapes, um, uh, vinyl, or like even when it comes to like viewing, um, there's like so many formats that we went through that
Oh, yeah.
I just watched, and I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
never went through that,
Yeah.
but just to see that is just like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yep.
But influencers, yeah, I want to say, so we had the VH1, the VH1 music.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what it was, but it was just the VH1 music that would play. I think MTV might have. I think MTV was going into the reality realm a bit, but they still played music. I want to say
MTV was more like pop with the top 40s and stuff like that. VH1 was more of like that grunge.
BT was playing music. Yeah. So I remember playing a lot of not playing because I would just crank up my grandma's TV.
Yeah.
It would be a lot of Rihanna, Umbrella, some T-Pain, Buy You a Drink. Let's see, what's his name? A lot of, I forgot the artist's name, but like Anonymous was the song name. Oh, what's his name? I forgot his name, but like that's a great jam. I jam out to. A lot of Ti. A lot of Ti. So like those guys were like really popping like on the TV.
Yeah.
So where I turn on the TV at a certain time, and those where I would be jamming out to.
Mm-hmm.
There's even a memory to where like I had a girlfriend back at the time in middle school.
Yeah.
And I called up the brother because he was like he was some graffiti writer or whatever that I didn't find out till later. But like me and his sister were like kind of, you would say, quote unquote talking to, but like as much as a relationship as you would think two middle schoolers would have. You know, like it wasn't like nothing, you know. But it was so I called them up, like I guess their house phone or whatever. It was him, and then he was like, oh, she's not here or whatever. And then Umbrella was playing in the background. Rihanna, Umbrella was playing. So I was dialing like the tone to Rihanna.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, what? He's like, you haven't hanged up yet. And I was like, oh, okay. And I hung up. But I was like dialing the tone to like Rihanna.
Yeah.
I love a lot of Gwen Stefani, Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
This is so still to this day, like I can get like how I am right now. I can get a little bit buzzed, and I can just put on some Justin Timberlake, and I'll be like, yo, this is my shit. Yeah. Or like some Gwen Stefani, some Black Eyed Peas, some like a lot of 2000 era stuff.
Yeah.
Like I really vibe to. So I guess that's where it came from, to like, this is something pure, this is something good. And what happened, the time, I mean, if you don't mind me going into the exact time to where I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
When it came to rap is my original dad, but he's my dad, so you know. But my dad, who I don't speak to, we would go from, because it's El Paso to Juarez, which is like a throne store away. So I don't even know, like, because the thing is we don't keep these secrets in the family, we don't talk about. So I don't know why.
Like most Mexicans?
Yeah, like most Mexicans. Like, I don't know why me and my dad would take these trips.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I have an idea now.
Right.
You know?
Juarez?
Well, we took these trips, and I guess we were crossing the border once, and Eminem's Trapped Inside My Closet played.
Oh, shit.
And I was in the back seat, and I remember just like leaning my head against like the driver's seat, because I'm in the back. I'm leaning my head against there, and I'm like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah.
Whatever this is fucking. Oh, can I curse here?
Of course you can.
Because
I think we started a long time ago.
Did we?
I think I might have opened the show like that.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Whatever I'm listening to right now is amazing. And that's how I got into. And then later on the line with when I was having visits with my dad and his family, I had my own journals, and I would like write raps in there, and I would perform it with his family and stuff like that. So like from a very young age, I was like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
You know? And it was very hip hop influenced. But as I grew older and I went into my teens, and you go into these parties and everything's turned up, and I'm like, okay, if I want to make some money, if I want to be in the scene, this is where it's at. Yeah. So I kind of put that hip hop side on the back burner, and I just started doing some turn up stuff, and that's what I've been doing ever since. It's just I'm just making music for people to vibe to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, is now I'm getting more into my feelings, and I'm like, okay, cool. So it's a mix, and that's why I call it bipolar. Because I can go into the studio one day and just be like, yo, I want to do fucking the most turn up thing and just get drunk and yell into the microphone. But then I also sometimes I put on a guitar beat and just like be as sympathetic as I can.
Yeah.
You know? So
walk me through like one day at the studio.
Yeah. Okay. So I try to. The thing is, here in LA, it's different. In Texas, I shout out my producer Santofino in El Paso, Texas. He produced all of my music in Texas, and he still goes hard with it.
Some
today.
good beats.
Oh, some good beats. Yeah, definitely for sure. And the difference is I can text him in Texas and say, hey, I'm on my way. I have like these songs lined up. We're gonna do this and we're gonna crank it out. I go do that. The same day I come back with the songs, and I'm good. Here in LA with my manager / cousin, we book 12-hour sessions. So 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. is usually what we stick with. And so the normal night here in LA or Hollywood where we usually book is I go in with a cup of coffee. Usually it would be after payday, so I'll buy like a 30-pack of beer, but I go in with a cup of coffee. I have to, because I can't go in there pre-gaming a 12-hour studio session, because 3 hours in I'm gonna be fucked up. You know, I'm gonna be too drunk. I can't do nothing. So I go in with the mental, and plus I have to be prepared. I have songs already written. I have things that I want to take care of. So within that 12-hour session, I'll leave with like 7 songs. And I just have it all in my library ready to go. So yeah, I go in with the coffee. And then say if there's a producer there that makes beats on my cousin or my manager tells me, hey, I have this guy over here that makes beats.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So he'll stop by. He'll make beats. If I'm really feeling it, I'll pop a beer. And I'll drink, we'll smoke, and I'll go into the booth and we'll knock it out. And then in moderation, I'll drink like a soda or something. I gotta make sure that I go into it when I'm ready to record. I gotta be a certain way, but then when I'm outside, I gotta make sure that I last throughout the whole session, because I can't treat it like I'm just here to party and get fucked up, because I'm not gonna accomplish a whole lot.
Right.
And it's just how it is. Like ever since I've gotten here, I've only booked 12 hours. I don't go less than 12 hours. So I pay what it is for 12 hours, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. and I'm there till 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Yeah.
Damn, it's a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely is.
You know, so right now, are you just busting out singles? You don't have any albums yet?
No, and I'm not interested.
Is that where the industry's at? I'm sorry, but I mean, is there big money in albums now, or is it all just singles?
It's all singles.
Singles, right?
It's all singles, because everyone's gonna look at you as, what was your last single?
Right.
What was your last hit? Oh yeah, you dropped because you can drop an album, sure. And there's nothing wrong with that, because everybody drops albums. But you have to have that single to drive people to that album.
Right.
This single came off of this album. Okay, cool. Let me check that out, you know? And then this single came out. So right now, no, I'm just focused on just dropping music. And I have a lot of songs that I'm just going to start drop. As soon as this podcast drops, I'm gonna have a song to drop too along with it.
Oh, there you go. I'm happy to comply. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Help out with that.
Yeah. Great.
What about live performances? Are you doing any kind of like? You have any gigs? Any stage performances?
See,
Are you gonna get booked at the San Manuel like all the other old timers?
I wanna go. I don't even know where that is.
So Indian casino somewhere in the desert.
Yeah. Hey, if it gets lit enough, I'll be there. Yeah. Shit, give me some free drinks, I'll be there. But the thing is, we're renting a garage space, with which my manager has spoken to you about.
Right. Yeah.
Which is our studio / tattoo shop / our.
Let's go by name with your manager. We just put him out there.
Shout out to my boy, Shadow, my manager. Man, we're doing great things out here. Shout out Einstein, my boy, Einstein McFly. He's doing great things out there. That's my manager's mentor.
All right.
And so, very recently, we're in talks with a lot of great things going on, and I don't want to leak this like right now.
Oh no.
But
this is a popular podcast, yeah, so you don't want to do that.
We're doing great things. So the thing with that is, in Texas, I did a lot of shows monthly. Like I would just do show after show after show after show, and I would get a lot fan base wise in my hometown. I'm always gonna do good.
Yeah,
I'm always gonna be fine in my hometown. But when you step out of that realm, you're talking about a different story. Because just because I do good in my hometown doesn't mean I can do a world tour. Because I can go over here to Connecticut and no one's going to show up in Connecticut.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So here in LA, we are doing we're setting up a lot of shows. We're doing a lot of festivals. So right now we have a total of 2 porta potties. We need 6 more. Then we need some vendors. Then we need, which we're all getting, and then we need some bands, which it's all getting into fruition for. So basically what I'm trying to get at is we are all self-generated. And so when I put out something like a flyer like, hey, Bipolar Purple is going to perform, this is something that is bigger than when you get a bunch of like local, when it says like support your local LA artists, support your local El Paso artists. I feel like right now in my career, I don't have to do that unless it's I'll happily open for someone bigger than me, you know.
Yeah.
If someone can book me a spot where I can open for someone bigger, great. But I'm not doing local shows. Right
yeah.
So we are all self-generated. We have a Halloween show coming. We also have one in the summer that we're working on. We're booking artists. So if any artists in Covina, LA, you guys want to hit me up, I mean, definitely DM me, because we're doing festivals out right in the heart of downtown LA. So it's gonna be great.
Yeah,
definitely. So that's what it all comes in steps, you know?
Right.
So I could do local show after local show, but really, what is that gonna generate? You know, we want to be self-efficient for sure.
Do you think that with the social media the way it is now and the direction that it's going in, or that it's been in, you think that's kind of the future of the industry, is just kind of doing your own thing where you don't need your agents, and you don't need somebody, you don't need a PR, you do your own PR now. Everything's through social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Do you feel that's where the industry is going now?
Yeah. Oh, completely.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's something that you kind of talked about right now, right?
Yes.
Doing everything on your own, your own show.
Yeah, and the thing is, I want to be, I'm
full control.
Yeah, I want to be full control, but at the same time, I'm fine with splitting up percentages as long as my family gets paid. Okay, cool. My cousin's my manager.
Yeah. You
take care of this. You get that percentage. I get this percentage. We do a show. We break everything evenly. We're fine. Just like the the store that my family owns. You know,
right.
like we all work there, we all get paid, we're all good at the end of the day. As if business is good, we're all happy.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of where I want to keep it. Is that as long as everybody's getting paid, we're fine.
Yeah.
And I've made so many friends in the industry, or I have so many collaborations that are in the vault right now, that I'm just waiting on someone to blow up. If not me, and someone else blows up, I have songs ready to drop with them. Or I know for a fact that if someone blows up, I'm going right there with them.
Yeah.
Or if I blow up, people know that I'm taking people with me.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So as long as we keep it as in that core base, I think we're all gonna be good. We're all gonna be fine.
Yeah.
You know?
Who are some of your collaborations, your collabs?
Mm-hmm.
Who are some of them to name right now? A few, if you have any off the top of your head.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did have Chief Keef's baby mama,
Mm-hmm.
and she has dropped out of the social media persona. Like, she has completely went ghost on us. We shot a music video for her. We did a lot of promotion for her, and for one reason or other, like, she's just completely been ghost. She's completely been gone. But other than that, we have a lot of people that I've worked with, as in like Frequency, which is my cousin's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's doing really great, you know. So shout out to shout out to Frequency. You know, I have a lot of people with Eric North, which is part of Anti-World, which is one of my favorite rappers. Syringe Cyber.
Mm-hmm.
He's part of the same camp. So, like, for me, just to even be blessed to, like, work with him. Like, he showed up. He's from, like, I would say, is it Kentucky? I would say, like, he's from, like, one of those outer, like, where he's not in LA a whole lot, you know?
Okay.
So, when he came down, and he really, like, I DM'd him, and he came down and showed me some love, so that's great. So
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell me about Little Peep and Triple X Temptation? Did I say that right?
Tentacion.
Yeah. It's Triple X Tentacion?
Yeah, so
I'm supposed to read it in Spanish.
Yeah, so like I guess, is that Spanish? What does that even mean in Spanish?
Tentacion?
I think that's like more of a...
Isn't that tension?
Could be.
I don't know.
I think it's more anime influence.
Is that?
Yeah, I don't think it's Spanish influence.
Okay.
But yeah, I had a fan ask me who do I prefer. And
is that a versus?
Yeah, it's a versus. And
I like versus.
Mm-hmm.
First, you got to tell me who Little Peep is and who Triple X Tentacion is.
They're both deceased.
Oh, okay.
Little Peep died in 2017 off an overdose of Xanax. And I went to his last concert, which was in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
In El Paso, I saw him live. From the time he went to El Paso, traveling to I forgot where, in Arizona, or on his way, or like from point A to point B, he had passed away from Xanax overdose. El Paso was his last show, and I was there. I was blessed to see that. X was murdered. He was in Florida. He his hometown. He was in his hometown in Florida, and he was out bike shopping, and he was in these fancy cars because he was he's a well-known rapper. He's very successful. He got robbed, and he got shot, and he got murdered.
Was he the one that's in the Ferrari, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was, I'm gonna bring up this controversy. It's a controversy. Mm-hmm. What happened was, the reason why people ask about Lil Peep or X when it comes to me is because what happened was, there is you know how artists, they have songs pre-recorded.
Yeah.
So they had a pre-recorded song with Lil Peep, and then they had a verse with X, and they had merged the two, and they had made this song as a collective, like together.
Right.
And the thing was, X had previous accusations of being abusive towards women, and they said that Lil Peep would have never condoned that. But they're both deceased, so people are talking on other people's behalf without them actually speaking.
Right.
They're both gone.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where had both fan bases had collided, and so that's where that question comes up. But since then, both sides have calmed down. They're fine. No one's beefing anymore. No fan bases are going at each other no more. I would like to think everybody's fine. If you want me to speak about my own personal experiences, Lil Peep helped me through a lot. Lil Peep was before Lil Peep had passed, I turned a lot of people to him, and he was someone that I had looked up to, and someone that I was I knew that it was okay for me to be myself with Lil Peep.
Yeah.
He was bisexual. He didn't care about, he had a great image, he had a great outlook on life, and he was just all around. He was going to change the industry.
Mm-hmm.
He was really going to change it for the better. And he was dealing with a lot of personal issues that led to a lot of drug use, and unfortunately he had passed. And I cried. I really because that I was dealing with that breakup fairly recently, because it's going to be like around 3 years that I have broken up with my baby mama.
Yeah.
And there's still scars there. It's
of course, yeah.
still there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and so him passing afterwards really hit me hard. I remember that night I was up when he passed, and then the next night over, I had like some interview for like some fast food job or something,
mm-hmm.
in Texas, and I had cried like while getting ready.
Wow.
And like he impacted me like that much. Like he taught me that it's okay to be myself,
Yeah.
So after that fact, I was always Lil Peep, like all the way Lil Peep. And I still am. But now that time has passed, like even when that song came out with both of those artists, I was always like, yeah, like whatever Lil Peep would have wanted, then that's what I'm gonna go with.
Right.
But you have to, with time, you have to take yourself back from all that, because X was a phenomenal artist. He might not have been a big part of my life, but I'm pretty sure he was a big part of other people's lives.
Right.
I'm pretty sure he touched other people's lives, and they were people who shouldn't have gone at the time that they did. They were both young,
Yeah.
So me looking back at it, and if you want me to break the barrier again and say, oh, I'm Lil Peep over this person, or I just want it to be like, it's a tragedy on both ends. I'm not gonna choose between two.
Yeah.
But Lil Peep's death definitely affected me for sure.
Yeah, it hit you a little bit more personal,
mm-hmm.
huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's funny because it seems like nowadays it's a lot easier to choose it's easy to choose sides. You're either black or white. You're on this side or that side, mm-hmm. right? Why can't you just like both and respect both of them?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like when you say right now, like Team Lil Peep and you got Team X, and they're going at each other. The guys are deceased. What are they arguing about? They can't speak on their own, like you said. Yeah. But again, you have these fan bases. Everybody's so quick to choose a side and choose side.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the biggest issues that we have going on now, is that people are choosing sides as opposed to just like, hey, why can't we just all love all, and respect all? Yeah. I mean, you may not like the music, doesn't mean you have to hate on it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? You just turn the page on it.
Yeah, and the thing is, of course, with like Pandora and stuff, when I'm at work, like X music's comes on, and like I'm like, okay, cool, this is dope, Yeah. But it was never something that resonated with me to like a deep core, like Lil Peep did. So like when it came to choosing sides, and I'll be completely honest, like I was like Lil Peep all the way. Yeah. But at the same time, you have to realize that these people are humans, and these people are artists at the same time, mm-hmm. and they left their mark on this world. Just like I said, like if X didn't touch me a certain way, who's to say that X didn't touch the next person a different way? Yeah. So you just have to. That's why you have to, when you grow up, and you have to realize that people have different perspectives on things, and you have to coincide, and you have coexist mm-hmm. with that. Right. Yeah. And I'm not gonna hate someone for liking one deceased artist, and it's wrong for them to hate me over liking another deceased artist. Right. Like we just have to, we just gotta keep moving forward.
Exactly. Going back to the your graffiti art. Mm-hmm. I know we should have probably touched on it then. It would have been it would have made more sense. But in a way, you're still using that art on your body. Yeah. Like you're inked up everywhere right now. Yeah. I've seen some of those your videos and the pictures with the shirt off, and you got ink going on over there. Yeah. For sure. So what do the tattoos mean to you? I'm sure they all have a meaning, right? Like you don't just get it just to get it. Right?
I mean, I do.
Some of them. Yeah. Well, because you hear like they're addictive, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You get one, you got to get the next, and then.
Yeah, I go through periods. So because we're not all millionaires here, If I was a millionaire, I would be tattooed from toes to head,
So just they're expensive.
Yes. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely break down a good amount of them for sure.
I mean, of course, this doesn't do justice to our audio listeners, but our YouTube listeners or viewers,
yeah, right,
would be good. So we'll do our best to try to, translate that over to the audio.
So I do have I guess we'll start on different periods of my life. Yeah. Because if I start from my hand up, that is not periodically correct. Okay. So when I was Skinny J, or when I was like doing my own thing, I do have some cholo inspired tattoos. Mm-hmm. I do have the clown girl,
a female with the clown face,
mm-hmm. And then I do have the clown cholo right here with the backward snap. Yeah. Back tattoo, smiling. And then I do have my my spray can right over here, established 1995 over here. Yeah. Because that was that of course is my my passion. That still is. And then I do have my mom's name tattooed, which is Gracie. Mm-hmm. Maybe she would have liked it more in cursive, or maybe more aesthetically pleasing, but it is in graffiti. I have my mom's name in graffiti. I have my sister's name in graffiti, Savvy, which is short for Savannah. I have my my graffiti crew's name, which is OBE, tattooed on me. I do have my my from Alice in Wonderland. I do have the caterpillar. Oh yeah. Yeah. So that is from the time when I did do a lot of drug use. Mm-hmm. So that represents me as someone that was taking those type of risks, someone that was like trying to enter other people's psyche, like, okay, what do these people feel off of these type of drugs? Yeah. So I do have that. I do have a Invader Zim tattooed, which is a 1990s early 2000 cartoon that was canceled in Nickelodeon. Invader Zim was a great show. I still watch episodes off of that. And then I would say I have a money sign right here that I got quite a while back for sure, from my boy Faces. Then I do have I have an angel right here on my left shoulder, and then I have a demon on my right shoulder, and then I have say after that I have of course, since I'm from Texas, I also have
the cowgirl.
Yeah, I have the cowgirl with the Texas flag underneath that. I would say that was, I don't even remember. I don't remember if I got that or the 915 tattoo on my stomach. I think I got the 915 tattoo on my stomach first because that's the area code of my city.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very crudely tattooed by like some guy that said, "Yeah, I know how to do tattoos." You know, and I got that done because I didn't think that I would be back in my city. Because if I get locked up in my city and I have that tattoo, I would have to prove that tattoo. They would have to tell me like, okay, you want to represent our city, you have to put in work, or you have to, you know, which I've gone to jail a couple times. But when I was in Minnesota, I didn't think I would be back in El Paso doing those types of things.
Right.
So yeah, I went with my ex, and things fell apart. But when I was there, I did get my area code tattooed on my stomach, which is fine. You know, I love my city.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is definitely something that you would have to prove in my city. Then after that, yeah, I have the cowgirl, and then what else? Okay, so now we're gonna go into the. After that, I didn't get tattooed for a while.
Yeah.
In LA, we will start with the. I have the Leviathan cross here. So what that
What's the Leviathan cross?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
That is actually a satanic church cross.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so this is where I started going deeper inside myself, to where what are my beliefs, or what do I want to coincide with, what do I want to represent myself with.
Yeah.
So I have that, which we'll definitely go deeper into. After that, I have my my witch hat that is tattooed on my left hand, and that's basically more of I wanted to become a warlock, which is a male witch.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I don't like to read.
Uh-huh.
So there's a lot of books, and there's a lot of spells, and there's a lot of things that I'm just not, I can't dive myself into right now.
Yeah.
But I do have appreciation for the culture and the way things are. So I do have the witch's hat, and then I do have the rose and the dagger right here, which and the acronyms HBK, which means
Heartbreak Kid.
Heartbreak Kid, yeah.
Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yep.
See that?
Yep.
Nice.
Exactly. Yes, I do have that. Oh yeah, and then I also do have. I forgot this. This is one of my earlier tattoos too, as I have the headphones and I have the broken heart too as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then my most recent tattoo is I have purple lipstick tattooed, and then I also have 3 purple hearts broken right here as well.
Uh-huh.
And that just means that I love women, honestly. Like women play a big part in my life, but they also play a negative part. So that's why I have like the broken hearts, because like women break my heart all the time.
Yeah.
You know. And a lot of people see it as like, especially the way I dress, or like I wear the skinny jeans, I have the little leather backpack, or I have like the pink hair. Like it's very feminine. But I'm comfortable in my skin to know that I'm comfortable in my sexuality. I know who I am at the end of the day.
I think maybe that was like something of the past. I don't know about it nowadays. I mean, that's like normal. I think that's fashionable now. Yeah, where fashionable. You got dudes wearing purses all the time. Now I say purse, but it's a bag, right? Like just a handbag or satchel. Like yeah. But yeah, I think it's part of like it's a culture. It's just it's what these young kids are doing nowadays.
Yeah, and I think it's weirder wearing a satchel.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's not comfortable. Like a whole like long leather strap and then like a little compartment. I just rather wear like a small leather backpack and I just have everything in there.
Yeah,
like, that's cool.
It's a comfort thing, to each its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions I asked when I start to bring the show to a little halt and then bring it to an end is what's your message to anyone out there listening right now, like your end all message to them? And it might be something that, it could be a message to you, but, you can put it out there right now in the universe.
I definitely would say that, like, don't suppress who you are, because a lot of my journey was conforming to society.
Yeah.
You don't take these type of pills, you're gonna act this type of way. You don't listen to this type of music, then you're gonna be shunned from everybody else. You don't act this type of way, you're gonna be shunned from the popular crowd. Or you want to be into this type of thing, it's not gonna work out. But at the end of the day, like, I just want people to know that you can be you, and it's all gonna be fine. As long as you're you, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
It's smooth sailing. Because if you try to conform yourself and you try to build yourself up to something that's not you, you're always gonna be trying to live up to that, which you shouldn't. You shouldn't
right.
be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be my message for sure.
Well, there you have it, Mr. Bipolar Purple. Well, can I add a Mr. to in front of that, or is that not cool?
Yeah, you can definitely do that. That's fine.
Mr. Bipolar Purple. Where can anybody find you at on Instagram?
Add me at bipolar BIPOLAR _PURPLE.
Boom, there you have it. So, Bipolar Purple, wish you the best. I know that there's going to be another interview coming up pretty soon with you. I can anticipate that already. You have a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
We'll definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, and I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me, man.
Thanks, brother. Sure. You take care.
See ya.
Talking Again podcast. We out.